Hi guys, WTM here. I haven't done an MMA video in a while, and I've been getting a lot of comments and emails, and I really appreciate all the interest, the comments, the emails, and requests to do more MMA videos. I have been busy, but I'm still watching MMA. I find it exciting, interesting, intriguing, and I certainly don't want to alienate you guys. I really appreciate the viewership. You're a very important part of what made my channel what it is, and I appreciate it. So I don't want to alienate you guys, and therefore I am dedicating this video to you. And what better way to do a video of a very big fight that happens to be taking place tonight. So let's get started. MMA Rants and Raves, UFC 168. Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva 2. Guys, let's talk about this fight. And I'm going to start off with a question here. I have a question. You have a fight, especially a championship fight, where one guy is dominating the other guy with one of the most decisive, devastating knockouts I've ever seen. And after this fight happens, the loser of this fight gets an instant rematch. I mean, what's going on over here? This makes no sense. I mean, when did this ever happen? Where one guy dominates the other guy, especially in a title fight, and the loser gets an instant rematch? I mean, there are other guys in line. You know, for example, Vitor Belfort. I mean, he's the hottest fighter in the UFC right now. Look what he's done in recent fights. That would be a really good fight. Belfort versus Weidman. I mean, there are other guys out there. An instant rematch? I just don't get it. But anyway, now that the match is taking place, let's talk about it. I want to start off with Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman is the type of guy that you see that dominates when he comes in to the UFC and then is just destined to win the title. I mean, we've seen this before. Who comes to mind? Junior Dos Santos. I just knew he was going to be a champion. Because when you see a guy come in and show that he's a level above the competition, making fights look easy, it means they're on that level. And usually it results with them winning the title and them becoming a champion. And that's what you saw here. And he's doing this on a consistent basis. What he did to Silva, he's done before. He actually had a knockout over a tough guy, Uriah Hall. I mean, we've seen what he's done in The Ultimate Fighter, in the UFC. He's shown that he's a good fighter. I mean, he knocked this guy out. And there are two guys that come to mind where he dominated, and he just looked like he was a level above. I mean, just look at the fight against Mark Munoz. Mark Munoz is a really good fighter. I've watched this guy fight. I mean, he's very good. He is a top-ranked middleweight. And he just, you know, he just looked like he was a level above when he was fighting him. Tom Lawler, another very tough, durable, experienced fighter. And, you know, he just got this choke on him. I mean, it looked like he was just a level above the competition. And he's undefeated, and it just seemed like it was going to happen. And the interesting thing is, it's just things repeat themselves. What I mean is, you saw Weidman with his road towards the title, and then you saw Silva doing similar things that he's done before, and that's the showboating, the clowning around. And you know something? It's worked for him in the past. The problem is that it works with guys that are not as good as he is. This guy is the real thing. I mean, this wasn't a fight like Junior Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez in the first fight, where, you know, he got a quick, dominating knockout. You didn't get a chance to see both of these guys in an in-depth fight. But here you did. And you know what I saw when Weidman fought Silva? I saw him dominate Silva in the major aspects of MMA. He took him down with ease. He also was trying to submit him, so he was the aggressor with jiu-jitsu. And then the icing on the cake, he just finished the fight with this devastating knockout. So 3 aspects of MMA where he dominated and was the aggressor. You have to look at that. If you look at 2 guys and you see one guy dominating, who's the better fighter? That's very important to look at. And here's something important, which makes you wonder what Silva's going to do. The showboating and the clowning around is not going to work. And let me tell you something. That was the most embarrassing knockout that I have ever seen. I mean, he was doing some sort of a weird dance. I don't know what it was. He was shaking around. And then in the middle of doing that, he just gets knocked out. You know what that's reminiscent of? I don't know if you guys ever watched The Three Stooges, but you could learn a lot from watching The Three Stooges. They can be very educational. And you could compare it to this fight. It's reminiscent of Shemp or Curly when they laugh at the other guy getting hit with a pie. In the middle of laughing, they get hit with the pie. It's very embarrassing and extremely funny. Funny for someone to watch, but very embarrassing to the person that it happens to. But this is even worse, because instead of eating a pie, he ate a fist, and a hard fist. But it's hard to criticize Silva for doing this because it's worked in the past for him. He psychs his opponents out, and he's able to get them to make mistakes because he's a counterpuncher. So this type of clowning around and showboating works with his style of fighting because he gets fighters to make a mistake, and then he's able to counter them. And I think what Silva should have realized is that he's not the same fighter that he's faced prior. The prior fighters that he's faced, they don't come close to Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman, I'm seeing a man right now, and this is important. I mean, he's great at wrestling. He's great at jiu-jitsu. He's great at striking. Has big power. Has size, cardio. He may very well be the most well-rounded middleweight fighter in UFC history. I mean, I'm looking at the fighters that Silva's faced before. He's faced tough guys, but nothing like this guy. And to add to that, I'm going to make a statement. Not only do I think Chris Weidman is a better fighter than Anderson Silva, I think he is a better fighter than Anderson Silva ever was. And that's saying a lot, since Anderson Silva is one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. I mean, Anderson Silva is that good. But this kid, with the skills that he has, the way he's been dominating the competition, top guys, I mean, he's making fights look easy against very good guys. When you see a guy doing that, it means he is that good. So I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to go with Chris Weidman to win this fight. I would like to know what you think about the fight. I would like to know what you think about Chris Weidman, Anderson Silva. Please leave your comments. Please like up this video. Please subscribe. And thank you for tuning in.